Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good day. So, today is Casing Tuesday, and that's the day when we take a card out of the catalog and give it a makeover. And I just realized that I haven't uploaded the images yet, so I'm going to do that while I wait for a few of you to join me live. And I'm going to just rearrange the photos because when I open them up, they appear on my screen. Whoa! But it's too large, so I need to shrink it down. Let's shrink it down. And that's the card for today. And let me pull up the sketch, and then we'll go back and talk about the card. Just need to pull both of these up. I try always and have everything ready ahead of time, but gosh, even if I had a list, I'm sure I would mess something up. Okay, let's cloak those for a minute. Hello, Connie from Denmark. Okay, I have a few of you on here with me. So good morning. I hope you're having a good day so far. I woke up to brilliant sunshine, so it was lovely. I really like this time of year because the days are nice and long, and the sun wakes you up in the morning. And I think that's, or maybe not the sun, but the light wakes you up in the morning, and I love that. It helps get me going in the morning. Good morning, everyone. Okay, let's talk about what the card is that we are casing today. Let's have a look at it. So here's the card, and this is actually an interesting card because it has kind of two background layers. I don't know if you can see that there's a layer of vellum behind the flower, and then there's a designer series paper layer. So you can add that if you want to. It's a very, very subtle layer. You really have to look hard to see it. I'll show you a moment in the sketch. And then there's a circle layer, and there's a greeting layer. And so that all comes together to make a really beautiful card. Let's have a look at the sketch for the morning. Oh, there's not the sketch. Here's the sketch. There we go. So you can see now, you can see the layer that's directly behind the circle. That's the vellum layer on the original card. So you can add that to your card or not. Vellum is such a very light, subtle layer that for my card, I actually omitted that layer because I felt it was like overkill. Sometimes I like to simplify things a little bit, and but it's there if you want to add a little bit of extra something to your card. Okay, let's close those off. So I'm going to switch over to my other camera. I'm going to talk to you all at the end. As always, if you have any questions for me, stamping related, as I'm going through doing my card, I'd love to answer them. And if you have questions for me afterwards, just let me know down in the comments. Okay, let's switch over, and I think I've got my camera set up. Let me know how my sound is. I'm trying to be more aware of my sound. I have a good computer that has good sound, but it just kind of depends on what device you are on. So here's my card. Look at this card. I just love it. I created it last night, and I love like nautical blues. And I actually didn't even think that this color, it's called Starry Sky. It's one of our new in colors. I didn't think Starry Sky was really a nautical blue because it came out with another color, which I'm not using today, but I just wanted to show you. When it came out with another in color called Orchid Oasis. And next to Orchid Oasis, I always kind of think of this as like kind of two purpley blues. But actually, a Starry Sky is kind of like a navy blue. It's like a bright navy blue. So it's very good for nautical cards like this one. So the paper that I'm using in the background, this slightly polka dotted paper, is from the 2022-2024 in color pack. And then I use Starry Sky ink, and I used two other colors as well. I used Balmy Blue and Pool Party. Pool Party, you might not be able to tell immediately, but I sponged the back of the circle in Pool Party ink just to pop the white of the sails a little bit. So just to give it a little bit of color contrast, but not too much, because this is a card of blues. It's a blue card. All right. So the supplies that I use for this card, the main one is the Let's Set Sail bundle, and this is still a bundle in the annual catalog. This came out in the spring catalog that was from Jan to June, and it carried over into the annual catalog, so you'll be able to get it for another year. It's a great builder punch. It makes making a little sailboat really easy. And today I made it probably in the easiest way you could possibly make the sailboat, and I'll show you that in a moment. But this is just a really nice set and bundle. And then I use the Stylish Shapes dies for the circle. The nice thing about these dies is it's got stitching on the inside and the outside. So if you create a window with this die, it will have stitching on the window part, or if you die cut a piece, you'll also have stitching around the circle, which is a nice little touch. So, all right, let's get started with making the card. And we're going to start with the card base. And this is Balmy Blue cardstock. And I started with 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches and scored in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. And then just use the bone folder to smooth it down to make it flat. And then I took a piece of the Starry Sky in color paper. This one measures 3 inches by 5 inches. And I just threw a bunch of paper across the room because this little piece was open. But these are the in colors, beautiful, lovely in colors. I have used these so much so far. This is my first pack, and I've got still some big sheets left, but I actually bought a second pack of this because I'm going through it so quickly. I've used it on so many different projects. It's great colors for the summer, I think. Okay, so I cut a piece, and I love this side too, but I think the polka dots are, I think it's a little darker on this side, and I like it for the contrast with the balmy blue. So I'm just going to add some Tombow here. And we'll just add this to the side. I'm doing about 1/2 an inch from the right side and then centered from top to bottom. Okay. So that's the start of the card. And now we're going to create this circle there. So I'm going to bring up my mini boss, which I now love. I didn't use it for about a year because the sandwich, this is the sandwich that you build to create the die, to do the die cutting. And I was using the recommended sandwich, which was the base platform, which was number 1. But number 1 is just slightly thicker than this number 3 one. And I was having a hard time rolling it through. It was very frustrating. But if you use the number 3, which comes with the machine, and if you're having problems, I'm sure you'll be a lot happier if you use number 3. And then you'll use a clear plate. I've got a piece of cardstock, and this width is about 3 1/4 inches, maybe 3 and a little bit more, but 3 1/4 is probably about as wide as you want to go. And I'm going to use the largest circle on the Stylish Shapes. Just plop that on there. And then I'll put on my other plate. And then we'll crank this through. I don't know if you can see my little handle here. Here we go. We'll crank it through. And this is such a nice little portable machine because you can take it with you if you're going away and you want to do some paper crafting while you're gone, just as long as you don't need a width that's bigger than 3 1/4. This is such a nice machine. It folds up both sides and then you can tuck it away. But here's my circle. And I think that's the only die cutting we need to do for this card. Actually, I'm going to stick this down here and I'm just going to leave it for next time. Okay, so we're going to take this piece and we're going to take a piece of scrap paper. So this is what I do. This is really handy. I tell this little tip sometimes, but I take computer paper, or maybe you have scrap computer paper. Maybe you do some printing otherwise, and you have the backs of some computer paper. So what I do is I cut computer paper into quarters, so that I have layers of 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I just keep a little stack right where I stamp. And they're great for scrap pieces of paper, and I also do a lot of designing on here before I get on to good cardstock, because this is a little bit less of a waste than if you're using thick cardstock. So, but if you have already printed pages and you have a backside free, that's the perfect thing to use as your scrap pieces of paper, because that way you're reusing paper before it gets recycled. Anyway, okay, so I've got my little circle here, and this big stamp right here, this is the water stamp, and I put this on an eye block because it's that large, and I'm going to take Balmy Blue, and let's just have a look at my card. So I'm going to stamp across here, and I want to do probably I want to do about 1/3 of my card. Sure this is the right color. Yes, Balmy Blue. I want to do about 1/3 of my card in water. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of, yeah, probably about right here. Okay, and I want to keep going because I want to, so I'm just overlapping just a little bit. And you can see there's a little bit of an overlap where there's a little bit of a darker blue. That's fine. And if you want to, you can add a little blue to the bottom to cover up that white bald spot. I think this looks a lot like water. Well, this is meant to be water, but it looks like a bigger piece of water than this little piece could give me. So I like how that comes out. And then what I want to do is grab my Pool Party ink pad, and I'm going to grab a sponge dauber, and then we're just going to daub into the ink, daub a little bit off, and then just create a little bit of a sky. I don't want this to be pure white, because if it's pure white, then the sailboat sails won't pop. And if you are a sailor, most often sailors use white sails, or I noticed the other day in Newport they used dark sails, but they weren't very colorful sails. Usually they use colorful sails for regattas and things like that. So generally the color of sails is white or a solid color. So having white sails is very common. So you can make this very easily without having to add color to the sails. But you want them to pop a little bit, so we need to create a little bit of a background. So there is our little circle. And then we're going to bring in just the sailboat stamp, and that just has the body of the sailboat and the mast. And we'll need a little piece of scrap paper here. And we're going to bring in Starry Sky. And I'm just going to ink this up. And let's take a look at the punch. the back of the punch. So when I'm stamping something that's going to be punched out, I kind of want to angle things or turn them such that they kind of match, so it makes it easier for the punching to happen. So maybe about like that. Okay, I need this one more time, so I won't put it quite away yet. Okay, so now I'm going to feed this in here. There was a little piece of shrapnel there. Okay, so I'll feed this in and center it. And I've done this card before with colorful sails, but this time I'm just going to do it with white sails. Make it easier for myself. Let's save that little middle piece so that we can keep wanting to put my ink pad away, but I need it for one more thing, so let's not do that quite yet. So I'm just going to position my sailboat on here and just make sure I have enough room for everything. Okay, I think that will be good. So then I'm just going to come on here and add a teeny bit of Tombow. Not too much because I don't want to get glue on my fingers. I'll just add the sailboat right about here. Kind of want it parallel with the water. And then I'm going to take some mini glue dots. Oh, those aren't mini glue dots. Here they are. Okay, mini glue dots. And the sail's going to be like this, so let's make sure we flip it over. And I'm going to add a couple of mini glue dots to the back. No, these aren't mini glue dots. Sorry, they're mini dimensionals. I will use mini glue dots later, but these are mini dimensionals. And then I'll just add that first sail on here. And the mini dimensionals just help the sails pop out a little bit. And then we'll add another one over here. Like that. Okay, so our sailboat's on there, and now what we need is we need a greeting. And we do have, I'm going to show you one more card in a minute, but this is very popular right now, is cutting out your greeting like this. And I know we used to do this way back in the day, and then we got into shapes and everything to put our greetings on instead, of course. But this is still a nice way to deal with a greeting. And we actually have a stamp set now that has greetings that have dies that you can use to cut out. So that's kind of cool. But for this greeting, I'm just going to cut along here. And then I'm going to just work my way around this greeting. And just kind of give it a circular cut. Just around the edges. And while I'm doing this, like sometimes I'll come in and I'll come back in and I'll do some extra little indents afterwards. So you can, deepen a little indent here. You can make something a little smoother, like if something's sticking out too much. But basically it's just kind of cutting around your greeting. Okay, so let's bring back in the card base. And I'm going to put this over here on the side. To add this on with glue. And this is about 1/4 inch from the side. And it's about 3/4 of an inch from the top. And then I'll add this greeting. And I decided to move it up over here, sticking off. You could also go all the way on if you wanted to, but in the end I decided I would go off a little bit. Kind of helps anchor it to the card. And I know sometimes we overlap the greetings. In fact, in the original card, the greeting is overlapping the circle. But on my card, it just didn't look good. I would have had to put it up here, and then I would have had to move the circle down here. And I just didn't want to do that. So this time it's not overlapping, and that's fine. So then I wanted to add a little bow, and I tied this earlier with, let me grab the ribbon. This is the Whisper White crinkled seam binding ribbon, and it's got little crinkles in it, and it ties super nice. And it can be colored with Stampin' Blends too, so if you didn't want to leave this white, you could color it in whatever color we have Stampin' Blends for. I could have gone and done like maybe a starry sky, but I decided just to leave it. And I'm going to take a mini glue dot. See, here's what I was thinking, mini glue dots. I'm using mini glue dots and mini dimensionals, but not in the same spots. Okay, so that's a little rogue mini dimensional, not mini dimensional, mini glue dot. Okay, trying to get it in the right spot. And then I'll just anchor this down here. And I'll add some iridescent ice rhinestone jewels, and these are my favorite embellishments right now. There's so many on a sheet. Plus, they are just the perfect embellishment for any card because they pick up the color. They look like little opals. That's the same size. I was going to go bigger. Okay. Well, I grabbed the wrong size, but that's okay. There's 3 sizes on here, and I think I didn't go small enough, but that's okay. The 2 smaller ones look just fine. And then I'll put this up in the sky like that, just to kind of anchor everything, to swirl it around. So let me put some of these things out of the way so that they're not in the scene. So here's my card. You can see on this one I went a little darker with my sky. It pops just a little bit better than this one. But both cards are really, really cute. And then if you use Hope It's Your Best Day Ever, this can be a very generic card. It could be a birthday card. It could be a retirement card. It could be whatever you want, anniversary, whatever. And then you would just stamp your greeting for what exactly it is on the inside. So this one's a nice generic greeting to have on the front, and then stamp whatever partner greeting you want on the inside. So earlier, or last night when I was designing, I did design one other card I wanted to show you. And this one uses the beautiful paper. Let me grab it. It's called, I have a half pack of it here. It's called A Wash and Beauty Designer Series paper. And it's got these beautiful blooms. And I think, just let me grab the paper that I used from across the room. So what I did was, this sheet of paper has these blooms on it that are perfect for cutting out with a circle. So this card here is a really easy, what I call a cheater card. It's not really cheating. You're still making it, but it's made with paper. You didn't have to stamp that. So you can cut these out with a circle and then use it on a card front. And I used another pattern of the paper for the back. And then for this greeting here, I used the Charming Sentiments bundle. And remember I was telling you how I cut this out and this was a style. Well, all of these greetings and Charming Sentiments have a partner die. So here are the dies and here are the stamped greetings. So you stamp the greeting and then cut it out. And there's also a few other images or die cut that you can use, like there's a candle, star, so a heart. You can do different things with that as well. But that's a bundle called Charming Sentiments. And so I just used Just For You here because again, then that makes it a very generic card and then you can put whatever you want on the inside. But I kind of just used like the same colors, like the balmy blue and kind of just the same idea. So you can really see how this card could be very, very different. Use some paper if you don't have time to stamp something, and it can just look really, really beautiful. So I just wanted to share that with you. An easy card. Easy, easy card. All right, I'm back over here, and I'm glad to see so many of you on here today. So let me just tell you before I look at the comments and talk to you there, today is the last day of my annual BOGO sale, so there's still time to participate in that. And that is, you get my retired products for free when you place an order of equal value. So behind me, I've got a lot of stamp sets of my stamp sets bundles, punch bundles, embossing folders, standalone punches. I have them, they're retired, and I'm giving them away for free. You just need to place an order of equal value. And I have on my blog, I have a page that lists all the products that I have available. And all you need to do is, if you see something you want, just send me an email and say, hey, I would like this bundle. Is it still available? And I'll look and I'll pull it for you. And then I'll send you the instructions on how to get that bundle for free. So then you just would say the bundle, say it's a die bundle, and it's like $45. So then you would need to place an order in my online store of $45. And once you do that, I'm going to send you a because things are shipped separately. I ship the retired stuff from here, and Stampin' Up! Ships your new products from Stampin' Up! Headquarters in Utah. And what I'll do is I'll just charge you still just for the shipping on the retired product. If it's a die bundle, if it's only that, it should be pretty light. Anything with a punch in it, I have to kind of bump it up to priority mail because of the weight of the punch. It usually pushes it too close to that 1 pound mark that I have to go over and do priority shipping. So then it would be, if it was a punch bundle, it would probably be around $9 to ship it to you. But you can choose as much stuff or as little as you want. And then I will send you all the totals, so there will be no surprises, and you'll know exactly what you're going to have to spend and pay for shipping. And then I ship you the stuff, and you get my retired stuff for free. It helps me because I get my retired products out the door, and I get sales of the new product. And so if you still want to participate in that, this is my 7th one that I've been doing. I do them every year in summer, so I won't be doing another one until next summer. So if you're interested, just send me an email. The link, if you click down on the link in the description of my video, that takes you over to the blog post. There's a banner at the top of today's blog post. Just click on it. It will take you directly over to my BOGO sale. All right. And if you don't want to participate in the BOGO sale And because there is a special host code that you need to use when placing your BOGO order, and I will send you that if you're doing that. But if you're just wanting to place an order just for order's sake, you don't want to participate in the BOGO sale, you can use this host code, and this host code will get you this paper. It's called Design a Daydream. It's a 6x6 sampler of the Design a Daydream paper. And so that's my gift of the month for placing an order of $50 or more. If you participate in the BOGO sale, you don't get this. It's a separate host code. And because you're getting my retired product for free, and that's its own reward. Okay. Let me see, did I forget anything? I just keep talking and talking. Just to let you know, the supply list for the card today is on my blog, and it's also down below. I have a clickable supply list down below, and you can also click over to my blog if you want to see photos of the products before you click on them. Okay, let me come over to you and say hello. I already said hello to Connie. Hello, Janine. How's my sound this morning, Janine? I hope it's good. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Nalita. Karen says she can't wait to do the sketch. I love layers. I do too. I just eliminated one of the layers. But Karen, I hope you'll keep that layer in, and I want to see if you do that extra layer with the vellum. Karen says she really loves my card. Oh, thank you. You know what? After I made it last night, I thought the colors were really striking. The starry sky really pops on the neutral, the balmy blue in the pool party. Good morning, Dee. I'm glad your weather has calmed down a little bit. It's not so hot. Good morning, Mary and Marty. And Janine says the sound is good. Oh, great. I love that. Mary says she loves my card. Thank you. Good morning, Betty. And Betty loves my cards. Thank you. Mary loves the paper. You know, I don't know which paper you're talking about, but both of them are really good. I mean, I do love a nice floral paper. So the paper, the Awash and Beauty paper is really gorgeous paper. But I love the neutrals of the 2022, 2024 in colors. And I've got to pick all the paper up. All my little scraps went sliding about. But the interesting thing is I have used almost this full pack of paper, and I've even used the little scraps up. Remember those Hershey Nuggets boxes? I made a lot of out of that. And what else did I make recently? Oh, thank you cards for my BOGO sale. I used up a lot of the 1-inch wide strips. So I've been using that paper big time. I love it. Okay. Oh, Nalita said, did you get the sailboat punch bundle yesterday? That's great. Janine likes the cards. Thank you. And hello, Polly from North Carolina. I'm so glad you joined us. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, I go live every Friday on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that day, it's always a 3D project or a fanciful card. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'll figure that out tomorrow or Thursday. And as the ideas roll in, I always come up with something. I'm always surprised. Like every week, I'm like, I don't know if I have another idea left in me. And then all of a sudden something will come to me and I'm like, okay, I'm saved for another week with the 3D or the fanciful cards. I love this Tuesday challenge though, because this challenge is something every single person can do, because we all have a starting point, or we have a challenge point because maybe the card isn't our favorite card in the world to copy, but it helps us expand our horizons, gets out of our little comfort zones a little bit. I did really like today's card layout though, so this card was definitely up my alley. Um, Thank you, Betty. Betty wished me a wonderful week. Thank you so much. So I hope to see you on Friday. And if not, have a great week and a wonderful weekend. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.